As I said, joining us right now from the western part of Canada, and former NHLer and a friend of mine. He's been on the show before, Sheldon Kennedy. Sheldon, welcome, my friend.
How are you doing, Anthony?
I couldn't be better. God bless you. Thank you so much again for taking time. It's been too long. I'm so glad we have you on. But this is a topic that's near and dear to your heart, mine as well, a parent of two boys. So who better to talk to than you? Let's get right to it, Sheldon. In 2017, I know as a parent of two boys, online bullying is getting more vicious, more on a daily basis that these young boys and girls are going through. And I need you to give us some advice how we handle that, because there's so many chat rooms out there. And a lot of these young people talk about, maybe that game that boy or girl had that wasn't a good game that they had, or a missed penalty shot, on and on. How do we handle online bullying? Because it's vicious today.
Well, I mean, it is a problem, and we have a lot of courage when we're not looking somebody in the face, saying mean words, and I think a lot of it is and I think when we talk about this stuff, it's we need to, I believe, as parents or as the coaches, I mean, it needs to be brought up and it needs to be addressed around the impact, and just because it's online and it's words. It's very impactful, and we see that with kids, throughout the work that we do at the Child Advocacy Center. The anxiety levels of these kids that live in fear of when a post might come out, a post that's been put online, or what kids threaten them with, and whether it's boy to girl, girl to boy, or friend or teammate, whatever. But it's real, and it's really impacting our kids. Right from a young age, right up into late teens.
Sheldon, whether it's soccer or hockey, football or basketball, a lot of young boys and young girls go for tryouts, and unfortunately, some don't cut it, some don't make it. And I know for a fact, when I was coaching and also with my two young boys, that once you get that word from that coach, you haven't made the team, it's a rough 3 or 4 days, maybe longer than that. How can we help? How can we help them handle this? What should we say? What should we not say? What's your advice? Because, being cut and maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of your friends have made it and you haven't is quite devastating. Well,
I mean, I guess the way I look at sport, and I understand what you're asking me, Anthony, and I think that sport is one of those places that we don't give enough credit to the importance of it in the development of our young people, our young kids, and how critical it is. And decisions like that are really the way that they are addressed have to be done properly, because they are impactful. When we look at kids, we know that young kids that are 12 years old, a coach is 90 times more influential in a child's life than their parents. So when we're looking at the role of a coach or a teacher or somebody that's in that kid's life, they have a huge responsibility, and because they're a good coach, and because if they're that person that's there for the right reasons, they may be the only trusted adult in that kid's life, and they need to understand that. And I think that there's not that understanding, and I think that a lot of times we look at sport as the only thing that is successful is if our kids make the travel team, and the reality is that we know that the best medicine for depression is exercise, and we need to start understanding that we need kids to participate in sport. We need to make sure that they come and want to come back to participate every day, because if we don't create an atmosphere for them to come back every day and want to play and want to learn, then we lose them for sport for life.
Sheldon, I've been guilty of this years ago in berating my child in the backseat after a loss because maybe they coughed up the puck or they didn't make that good pass on the soccer field. We see coaches berating players openly, and this sticks with them for a long, long time, especially if it's done on a regular basis. To me, what's mind-blowing is this, Sheldon. I would never expect my two sons now to come here to the show, to the studio, and say, Dad, that was a stupid question you asked. Dad, that's stupid what you're talking about right now. How come we as parents and as coaches think it's all right to do that?
Well, I mean, I think, there's a few things. I think, sometimes we're living through our kids. I think sometimes, if you look at the way we're sold as parents, we're sold that if you invest this to, have your child, pumping weights at 10, 11, and 12 or even younger, or, that they're going to, there's this false misconception that they're going to make the bigs the more you invest. And I think that there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of financial pressure for succeeding. And I think that when we look at it, and we hear a lot of where we're investing in our kids we're going to invest now for that scholarship later. And I understand that thinking, but I think that that's a lot of pressure on that kid. And there's a lot of pressure that comes with that when your investment isn't turning out the way that you would hope it turned out. And if you think of it that way, I think that those types of pressures carry a lot of stress, and they carry a lot of fear, and they carry a lot of huge responsibilities on these kids that, I'm doing the best I can, and I'm just not cutting it, and I'm so scared now to do anything, and it just starts going down this road, down this hill that then there's no stopping. And what's happening? We know there's a huge number of kids that are dropping out of sport at 14 years old. They're done. And if you look at it, like if you look at us as adults and we work, we look to our vacations. We're like, oh, I need a vacation. Whereas these kids are going 7 days a week, 12 months out of the year. And I think, it's burnout. And I think we need to really reset and understand, the reality of what we're really trying to do with our kids. And I think it's about an experience. It's about teaching them. I think sport teaches great lessons. I think that a positive, good coach is a huge influence. I think, as a parent, showing up with their kids is a great experience that should be positive. And I think somewhere along the line, we got a little bit off track. And I think we need to reset and understand, with a set of eyes that really keep those unrealistic expectations in check.
Sheldon, just before we let you go, we know you're extremely busy today, and we thank you again for your time. It's Bell Let's Talk Day, and I think it's a beautiful day. It's an important day, but I think every day has to be as important as today is. How do we go about making sure, as I tweeted out today, that we pick up that phone and call someone that we know that's struggling, make that visit, knock on the door, just to listen and to digest and not to judge? How important is every day, not just today, in your mind?
Well, I think every day is important. For me, I think that what I know and the way I have to live my life is that I have to pay attention to my well-being on a daily basis, and I have to pay attention and set myself up so that I'm the best I can be for others. And I think that that's the way we need to look at it. And it's not just a day. I think that we talked today at Bell Let's Talk Day about mental health. I think we need to understand all aspects of mental health. Mental illness makes up a sample size of 7 out of 1,000. The remaining mental health issues stem from kids suffering from anxiety, whether it be online bullying, whether it's that pressures of online, or it's been child abuse, or it's kids growing up in alcoholic homes or violent homes, or the emotional abuse. And I think we need to really connect those dots and understand that, and look in the mirror and saying, hey, how am I showing up today? And am I being the best I can be? And you know what? This isn't about perfect. It's about progress. I don't think we're ever perfect with this stuff. I think we continually grow, and it's about growing. And I think as parents, you know what? I wasn't a perfect parent when I was younger either. But you know what? I continually try to work to get better, and I think that's ultimately what our goal should be.
Sheldon, you've traveled all over North America and all over the world, and people love what you have to say. If they want to get a hold of you to come to speak at their club or their conference or their convention, how can they do that? Is there a website? Is there some way they can get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can go to me at the Sheldon Kennedy Child Advocacy Center in Calgary. Just go on the website and they'll be able to get a hold of me there.
Sheldon, God bless you again. Thank you for making time. It's been too long that we've spoken. I always have a special place in my heart for you, for what you're doing, especially as a parent. And keep doing it, brother. Keep doing it, because we need you out there and preaching and talking the talk. Thanks again, Sheldon, and enjoy the rest of your day, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony. And hey, I thought you asked great questions today.
Well, I really appreciate it. Sheldon Kennedy, former NHLer, and all heart, all class. Love this guy. He's a beautiful guy.